Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, a theory called black swan logic. It suggests there's a hidden operating system running in the background of our world and, well, understanding it might just change how you see everything.
So the source material starts with this really powerful idea. You know that feeling of frustration, that exhaustion you get when you're trying to navigate some complex bureaucracy or system? The theory says that's not a personal failing. You're not the one who's broken.
What you're feeling is what it calls friction. It's this massive gap between your gut instinct, your body's truth, which knows something is wrong in a split second, and the slow, grinding, clunky language of the systems we live in. It's like your personal hardware and the system's software are just fundamentally incompatible.
So let's just pull back the curtain for a second. What if that personal struggle, that nagging feeling that something is deeply, fundamentally off, isn't just in your head? What if it's actually the most logical response you could possibly have to a reality that's been hidden from view?
Okay, let's get into it. To really get what this theory is saying, we have to start with the math. Yeah, I know, math. But stick with me, because it claims there's an impossible equation baked right into the heart of our economic system.
So, this whole theory rests on four basic principles of how money gets made. These aren't controversial ideas, this is standard issue economics. But I want you to look really closely at step 3. When a bank gives you a loan, it creates the principal out of thin air, but the money to pay the interest on that loan, it's never created. It just doesn't exist.
And that one little fact leads to this huge, system-defining problem. It means that the total amount of debt in the system is always greater than the total amount of money in the system. It's a permanent shortfall, a mathematical trap that's built right into the source code of our economy. Think about what that actually means for a second. It's like you're playing a game of musical chairs, but the game is rigged from the start. For the music to keep playing, somebody has to lose. There are simply never enough chairs for everyone. It's not a game you can win by being better or trying harder. It's a game that is mathematically designed to produce losers.
In this gap, the shortfall, it's not static. It gets worse, a lot worse. The source compares it to a person running at a steady pace, while the system's debt is like a car that's constantly accelerating. The distance between them just keeps growing, faster and faster, forever.
And here's where the rubber really meets the road. That exponential demand for more and more, it eventually slams into the brick wall of physical reality. The math starts demanding more than our planet, our labor, and our bodies can possibly produce. Okay, so we have this abstract, impossible math problem. But how does that actually connect to us, to our lives? Well, in this next part, we're going to see how our own biology starts to respond to the pressure of the equation. So, the source material suggests there are basically two ways people react within this system. You have the cat, who is hyper-focused on their own survival. They're just trying to climb the ladder, get a better spot for themselves, even if the ladder is on a sinking ship. Then you have the canary, who stops looking at the ladder and realizes the whole ship is going down.
And this is where the theory gets really radical. It looks at traits we often label as disorders and completely reframes them. It says, maybe neurodivergence isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's a high-fidelity sensor picking up on the immense stress of the system. That so-called sensory gating failure, that's you perceiving the raw, unfiltered data. That intense drive for autonomy, that's your biology rejecting a system it knows is coercive. Your body is having a logical reaction to a deeply illogical situation. Okay, get ready for this, because this is a mind-bender. The theory argues that things like chronic pain, that ringing in your ears, they aren't just random symptoms of a broken body. They are transduced data. That's a fancy way of saying your biology is taking the abstract mathematical stress of that impossible equation, D is greater than M, and it's converting it into a physical signal you literally cannot ignore. The math is hurting you.
So, all of this, the impossible math, the biology responding to it, it all leads us to the final and honestly the most profound piece of the puzzle, the very reason this theory has its name.
You've probably heard the term black swan, right? It's supposed to be some huge, unpredictable event that changes everything, like a financial crash or a pandemic. But here's the twist. According to this logic, a market crash isn't the black swan. Not at all. A crash is actually predictable. It's just the math playing itself out. The real anomaly, the thing the system truly cannot see coming, is something else entirely. The central revelation is this. You are the black swan.
The one unpredictable variable the system can't account for is a human being who is biologically incapable of being gaslit. The person who feels the truth of that broken math in their bones and simply cannot pretend that everything is fine.
You see, the whole system works because it assumes everyone will just keep playing the game without questioning the rules. Your struggle, your anxiety, your refusal to just fit in, that's not a weakness. According to this theory, it's the mutation the system fears most. You're the spanner in the works.
So maybe the big takeaway here is that the friction you feel, that sense of being out of sync, it isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're a high-precision instrument accurately detecting a deeply flawed sledgehammer world.
And that leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought. In a world built on this impossible equation, what happens when the canaries, the ones who see and feel the truth, refuse to keep acting like cats? What happens when they stop trying to climb the ladder on a sinking ship and instead decide to sing about the water rising all around them?